Hey, this is Patrick, and I'm going to show you how to do the 10,000 mile service on your Harley Davidson Milwaukee 8 bagger. Now, the steps we do today, our checklist and our fluid changes are going to be the same process for pretty much any Harley Davidson that's doing a 10,000 mile service. Your quantities of fluid may just change a little bit. Our bike behind us actually has 10,700 miles on it, so you're going to get to see what type of wear and tear is actually happening real time in those 10,000 miles. So this can be done in your garage, no problem. You don't need a fancy lift. You will need a drain pan, and all the tools we're going to use today we'll put in the description down below. I will mention, when you go to dispose of the oil, you can take it to any local auto parts store. They'll recycle the oil for you. Don't go dumping that in the drain behind your house. All right, the first thing we need to do is get the oil out of this bike, so let's get to spinning some wrenches. So we're over here on the left side of the bike, and this can be a little confusing. The bolt that's on the front of the oil pan is the engine oil drain. The one that's right behind it, facing down, is the transmission drain. We're gonna drain them both since we're over here, and both of them are gonna use a 5/8 socket. So before we put these drain plugs back in, we just need to inspect both the engine oil and the transmission oil magnet on the end. The engine one really shouldn't have too much stuff on it. Shouldn't be too much metal floating around there. Expect a little more sludge off the transmission plug. Just fine, nothing to be alarmed about there. We're gonna wipe those clean, and then we're gonna replace the O-rings on each plug. And as a side note, if you get a Milwaukee Twins oil change kit, it comes with the O-rings, so you don't even have to worry about ordering those separate, but you definitely should change those. You don't want to leak after you change all these fluids. Now we're gonna run these back in with our new O-rings, and we're gonna torque them anywhere from 14 to 21 foot-pounds for each drain plug. So now we're gonna drain our primary fluid. This plug is very easy to find. It's right here under the derby cover. It's another 5/8. Now I will say all three of these plugs you can actually use a 1/4 inch Allen on, although I don't really recommend that. To me, it's too easy to round these out. Just use the 5/8 socket. When we're done draining this, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna inspect our plug, put a new O-ring on, and torque it anywhere from 14 to 21 foot-pounds. See all those little tears and stuff? That's why you wanna replace this O-ring. If I had to guess, at like the 5,000 mile mark or something, somebody's changed his primary oil and they reused that O-ring, and that's why you want to replace it. So now we're going to swap out our oil filter. Now, getting the old oil filter out, I highly recommend an oil filter wrench on a fairly long extension. Otherwise, you're going to end up trying to grab this with channel locks or stab it with a screwdriver, and it's going to make a huge mess. And it's already going to make a little bit of a mess. And trust me, I've tried to jam all the little weird tools up in there and paper plates, and on these baggers, it just doesn't work. I just take the oil filter out and clean up my mess afterwards. You are gonna get oil running down here, so you're gonna need to move your drain pan up. So now we're gonna pre-fill our oil filter before we put it in there. Like I said, we're gonna fill this not quite full, maybe 1/2 to 3/4. Also, we're going to take a little bit of oil and just put it around this rubber gasket here. This will help it tighten down nice. Also, it's worth noting that a lot of people use twin cam filters on the M8, and you can do that, but Harley put out a bulletin. They prefer you use the M8 specific oil filters. M8s have had some oil problems over the years. This actually helps with that sumping problem. Milwaukee Twins does make an M8 specific oil filter. Also, when you tighten it up, especially if you're using an oil filter wrench, you don't need to go gorilla arm on this thing. Once it starts to tighten, put about a 1/2 turn on it and call it a day. It doesn't need to be on there with 100 foot-pounds of torque. So now we're gonna start filling our fluids back up. The first one we're gonna do is the engine oil. The dipstick is right back here, would be under your right leg if you're on the bike. It can be a little tough to get out of there, and it's gonna have two different fill lines on it. So this calls for about 4.5 quarts from the manual. Typically, I've noticed these take less than that, maybe just over 4. So I like to put 4 quarts in there and then check them. On the dipstick, it has a full hot on jiffy stand, that's the kickstand, and it has a full hot on vehicle upright. You just want it to be in the middle here or the middle here, depending on if we're on the stand or upright. So we're gonna check ours on the upright, and we're gonna make sure when you put this dipstick in there, you thread it all the way down so it's tight, otherwise you'll get a false reading. We're not gonna check ours hot until we filled up all of our fluids though. So we're gonna put our 4 quarts in here. I'm gonna check it just to see where we're at. We'll finish filling up our other fluids, then we'll start the bike up, check for leaks, and then take our hot reading. So right here, we're on full hot vehicle upright, and you can see we're well above halfway. Now when this cycles through the engine when we start it, because this is obviously cold, we might lose a little here. But as of right now, I don't want to add any to this. So after we get our transmission and primary fluid topped off, we'll start this and check it again after the engine's hot. Now we need to refill our transmission. This is the fill hole and dipstick. This is a 1/4 inch Allen. We're gonna take this out of here and we're gonna put 28 ounces of fluid in our transmission. So your quart is gonna have 32 ounces in it. Obviously you don't wanna use the whole thing, so make sure you measure it out either using the side of the bottle or a ratio right. So this does have a fill add mark on it. I tend to go by how much fluid I actually put in there, so I put 28 ounces in there, which is what Harley recommends. So if this is just a little bit over full, don't panic, don't try to drain any out, you're gonna be fine. Also, it's a good idea to just kind of inspect this O-ring right now to make sure it's fine. It's not as big a deal as the drain plug O-rings. This one's in good shape, so we're gonna go ahead and put the dipstick back in. So now we're going to refill our primary with fluid. We're gonna take a T27 Torx, take our derby cover off. So when you go to fill this up, this is gonna look pretty tight in here. So there's a little notch right down here at the bottom. This is a great spot to stick that funnel, make it easier to fill up. Also, give this little rubber O-ring here a good inspection. These don't always need replaced, but now's a good time to give it a good look-see and make sure there's no tears in it. And we're gonna put 30 ounces of primary fluid in here. Also, it should be right about level with the bottom of this. When this bike's upright, it shouldn't run out, but it should come right up to the bottom there. So we're gonna put our cover back on and torque these 5 in a star pattern from 84 to 108 inch-pounds. I'm also gonna say this is a good time to do a clutch adjustment if you need one. I'm not a big fan of doing clutch adjustments if they're not necessary. Our clutch is in good shape, but I will say when you're doing this service, you can go ahead and do your clutch adjustment. If your clutch is feeling a little weird, check out our video on that. We have a video that will walk you through that step by step. So now that we have all of our fluids back in the bike, we're gonna start the bike up and just let it warm up for a minute or two, let the oil cycle through the engine, then we'll shut it off. Again, give it a minute or two for everything to settle. We'll go back and we'll check our oil level one last time. If we need to, we'll add some to it. If not, we're gonna move on to servicing the air filter. We checked our oil after we warmed the bike up. Everything's perfect, so we're moving on to the air filter. We have an aftermarket air cleaner kit on our bike. If you don't, if you have a stock air filter, there's not gonna be much you can do for a dirty air filter other than just go ahead and replace it, which I recommend you do. If you have an aftermarket one like ours, that's a lifetime style filter, you can actually clean them and re-oil them. So we're gonna take ours off, we're gonna see if it needs cleaned, and then we'll re-oil it and put it back on. So when you pull your air filter off, it's a good idea to take a quick look at your throttle body and see if you have an excessive amount of blow-by. There's always gonna be a little bit of blow-by in there, a little bit of oil, because that's what it's designed to do. But if you have an excessive amount of oil in there, you may have a little bit of a breather issue or something like that. Ours looks fine, so we're moving on to our air filter. This is a K&N by Cobra. So it's actually pretty clean. So we don't really need to do a lot of cleaning on ours. If you do have one of these like K&N style lifetime filters, you can actually use just warm soapy water. You do not want to spray high pressure air through here to dry them out. You just want to let them air dry. So if you're gonna wash this off, don't blow a bunch of air through here because you'll tear up that element. Ours is in pretty good shape, so we're just going to re-oil it. K&N makes air filter oil. We're just gonna spray it on there, hold it about 3 inches away, and reinstall it. It's worth noting if you do this, you wanna wait about 20 or 30 minutes before riding the bike after you re-oil the filter. All right, now that our air filter is dialed in, we're gonna go check out our spark plugs. So to get your plugs out, you're gonna need a 5/8 socket. Obviously on an M8, you'll see the 2 here, but there's 2 more in the middle. If you're on a twin cam or an Evo or a Sportster, you're just gonna have the 2 on the outside. If you need to get to the 2 in the middle, we have a video on how to take your touring gas tank off to get to those. What you're looking for is like a nice toasty color around the white ceramic on the inside of the plug. As you can see, that little spot in there that holds the electrode is white ceramic, and that should be kind of a toasty color and not that jet oily black that it is. Also, if it's a really, really chalk white, that means you're too lean, probably indicative of like a tuning issue. We needed to address this, but we also need to put some new plugs in. So we're gonna throw our new plugs in this and we're gonna move on to the back to check our belt tension. So now we need to check out our belt. A couple things. We need to check the tension, and then we need to do an inspection. Now Harley wants you to check this with a belt tension gauge, which I can almost guarantee you will not have. So you're not gonna be able to check it by the manual. What we can do is come down here in the sight window and kind of check our slack. And basically you're gonna push up on that in that sight window, and you don't really want it to move any more than about 1/4 to 1/2 inch in that 3/8 range. If it's tight like a guitar string, you want to loosen it up, or if it's like more than 1/2 inch of slack, you might want to tighten it up. But even bigger than that, you need to find a way to lift this bike off the ground, whether you have a buddy help you put it on a block or use a flat jack, so you can roll this wheel over. And you want to look at the inside of this belt where the teeth are. You want to inspect those teeth. And what you're looking for is cracks or chunks missing out of the belt. Because as that belt deteriorates, it'll start to chunk off and crack, and that's when things get dangerous. You need to replace the belt. So really just roll that belt around in there. Look at your rear belt pulley right there. You don't want those teeth to be too sharp and worn out. And you don't want there to be wear on the inside of the belt. So now I like to check tires and brake system, both front and rear. Tires, you're just looking for weather cracking or some sort of damage to the tire, but most importantly, setting your pressures. You really should be checking tire pressure about every other gas stop anyway, and making sure you set it at the recommended PSI that's on the side of the tire. As for brakes, I'm checking for damage in the rotors, like heavy grooving, stuff like this. This one's not bad, but I wouldn't want to see it much worse than this. And then you're looking for pad thickness. Again, this one right here is about as thin as I like to see them as far as letting them go. If it was too much worse than this, I'd probably change it right now, but we still have a little bit of life left in that. So check all of your pads, make sure you check those tires over and get those pressures set. Now at this point, I just like to give the bike a good once over. I go over the bike, check all my bulbs, things like that, make sure I don't have any burnout turn signals or loose bolts, loose wires, or any weird random leak. Just a good idea to get everything just nice and perfect to complete your 10,000 mile service. After this, you should be good to go for another 10,000 miles of happy motoring. Overall, this shouldn't take you more than, I would say, a few hours in your garage on a Saturday afternoon, and you can still have plenty of time to go for a ride. If you have any questions about any of the products you've seen us use in this video today, make sure you click on that info tab on your desktop or mobile device. That'll take you to our PDP page where you can read other riders' reviews and more specs about those products. If you're still looking for more information, feel free to reach out to our customer service team. They would love to talk to you about what works best for you, your motorcycle, and your budget. I am Patrick. Thank you for watching. Now go work on those motorcycles.